of the election of the century, which honestly I don't think is nearly as big a deal as everybody's making it out to be. Maybe it's my old age. Maybe it's, I should stay still too. I forgot. This doesn't focus when I get too close, right?
Oh, yeah, I want to restart because no one tunes in until like the first 20 seconds after you hit live.
Oh, okay. Well, hi everyone. Now, Katie will tell me when to officially start. Then. Are you sure? Are you sure? I mean, I'm scared. I don't know. What do I do online? There's so much pressure for two people watching me. I just don't know what to do.
5 now.
5. Holy crapola. We got 5 people chilling out. Welcome, Fab 5, to a spur of the moment podcast, or at least a podcast primer before we switch it over to Twitch, before we switch to the Twitch at 8 p.m. But I was curious as to how many folks were just hanging out online on Facebook and or YouTube, or the YouTubes on this election eve. And now I'll start raging since Katie said there's 5 people here. Of the most important election of the 21st century, which I don't particularly think is the hugest deal ever. And maybe that shocks lots of people because everybody is so stressed out. Everybody's up in arms. People are at each other's throats. People are thinking it's the end of days. If their candidate doesn't win, it's the end of life as we know it. And by the way, no matter what side of the political spectrum you're on, trust me, people on the other side of the political spectrum also believe it's the end of days if their person doesn't win. But here is a Boyer reality. Wednesday morning, life will go on. Thursday afternoon, life will continue to go on. Even late as Friday night, the world will still be quite intact and things will be moving forward. So I like to encourage everybody, take a breath. It's a democracy. This is how we do these things. Well, America's increasingly a pseudo-democracy, but perhaps I can take a line of questioning about that. But I like everybody to take a chill pill and just be like, yeah. Embrace yourselves of whatever political stripe you are. Brace yourselves for the reality that your person's not going to win. And again, it doesn't matter what side of the spectrum you're on. Brace yourself. Play it through your head for the next 24 hours. Your guy is not going to win. It's a good exercise. Go ahead and live through the trauma of your guy not winning and come to peace with it before the election even occurs tomorrow. I already have a question. Okay.
Oh, just Olivia on YouTube say, "Hi, Professor. I just finished your class and it was amazing."
Oh, Olivia on YouTube says, just finished the class. What week is it? Week 10? Well played, Olivia. Well played. Hopefully you'll continue to tune in here and on the Twitch channel, which we've been really trying to not so much promote. You all know me. I'm not a big promoter, but it's a really cool platform that allows for a lot more cooler interaction than I can deal with and see. So we like it for the interaction part, and I'm going to launch a whole series of lectures, which we already have on the Twitch thing. But I know lots of folks still use these platforms too, so I'm trying to bop back and forth. Oh, I forgot to press this button. So what I wanted to talk about for just a little bit here before we switch over to Twitch at 8 o'clock is the U.S. presidential impact on the planet. So now that I have underplayed the significance of the U.S. election that's occurring tomorrow, that everybody's panties are in a collective bunch about, I am quick to also admit, yes, it does make a difference who wins the election for lots of different policies and lots of different places on the planet. Because, yes, while I'm downplaying that it's the end of days, the person who is in charge of the United States does have this very unique position on the planet of being in charge of the most powerful military on the planet, of the biggest economy on the planet. And so the policies and reputations and procedures that any U.S. president implements during their term do indeed affect the rest of the planet. But it's not the end of the world. This has been happening since the U.S. has been a superpower, at least since World War II, and one could push it back even maybe 30 or 40 years before that, that whoever was in charge of the United States did have a big impact on the rest of the planet. I have even said myself in days past, yes, even 20 years ago, the U.S. president, whoever's in charge, really truly impacts the whole planet. I'm starting to back away from that a little bit. And given whoever wins this election tomorrow, and I'm just going to go ahead and tell you straight up, I am not a political person. I'm not even sure I'm going to vote. I'm just kind of disinterested. For those that have ever taken any of my classes or are taking it right now, you know that I say I'm not that interested in domestic politics. To me, it's like watching a marriage or divorce court. There used to be this show on TV called Divorce Court. Seriously, go Google it. It was the dumbest thing ever. Hell, maybe it's still around. But it was a TV show like The People's Court with Judge Wapner. And Divorce Court was truly that. I think it was all actors. It was all staged. And a man and a woman getting a divorce. And they would spend a half hour berating each other on TV. She said this. No, I didn't. He said that. No, I didn't. She said this. No, I didn't. He said that. No, I didn't. It was a TV show. And that's the way I look at U.S. domestic politics. I'm like, I'm just disinterested. Tell me when you actually do something and when that something affects the globe. So I don't pay attention to U.S. politics. And I don't have a dog in this fight, so to speak. I am not pushing one candidate over the other. And I'm prefacing that by telling you right now, 20 years ago, I used to teach, the U.S. president plays a huge impact on every component of world history, modern world history, and how things unfold. If Donald Trump is to win tomorrow, I will start to back off of that because this is not a judgment call. Because of his policies and his attitude, his administration's attitude about world leadership, the United States has already been on a kind of slow decline of being a world leader in many aspects. It still has the biggest military. It still has a big economy. So there's that. But it has been stepping back from its role as a world leader since Donald Trump was elected exactly 4 years ago. So again, not a judgment call. Don't harass me and say I'm anti-Trump. I'm not. I'm just saying if Donald Trump gets elected tomorrow and you have 4 more years of this exact same policy and probably an expanded version of retracting, pulling America away from global leadership, then 4 years from tonight, when I do another podcast, if I'm still alive, I won't be talking about how important it is for whoever becomes U.S. president next on the world stage, because it won't be as important. By the way, for those of you that still think I'm just attacking Trump, I'm not sure that even a Biden win tomorrow stops the hemorrhaging of U.S. power on the planet. There's just too many other powerful actors that are starting to rise. China is a true world leader at this point in many aspects of human existence. And Russia and India and Australia and new groupings and new trade blocs are coming into formation that are lessening the world's reliance on America as a leader. By the way, so therefore, even if Biden wins tomorrow, he will do a lot to re-entrench the old ways that the United States used to be a global power and retrench a lot of alliances and reinforce things like the WTO and NATO. But it seems to me that the American leadership role is in decline either way. So basically, if a Trump election occurs, and maybe this should have been my last slide, not my first, but if a Trump victory happens tomorrow, the world more quickly doesn't look to America as a leader. And even if Biden is elected, the world more slowly is not looking towards America as a leader on multiple fronts on this very fractious society in which we now live in the grand old US of A. So having said that, what I was going to chat about tonight, and we'll swap over for more expanded talk on this on Twitch in just a little bit, was, either a fast decline in U.S. global leadership or a slow decline in U.S. global leadership. The fact remains that the U.S. does have some sort of global leadership role, and the U.S. president does impact policies and procedures and impacts directly other countries and other entities and whole other industries. So what have I got to say about that? Again, don't care about domestic policies. Feel free to ask me any questions about anything along the way. This is 100% an opinion piece, but I am a world watcher and I have been for my entire life. So if you've been paying attention long enough in your life, you'll realize there's no big surprises. You kind of have seen everything. Have I seen anything quite like Trump before? No, but the Italians did in Mussolini. So there are other leaders in history that are just like him. Nero of the Roman Empire was just like Trump. So if you're smart enough, I wouldn't even say smart enough, if you're knowledgeable enough and have seen enough and read enough and watched enough, you know that things just kind of repeat themselves in human existence with new faces and new names and new times. So you don't get that surprised by anything. So yes, this is an opinion piece based on 30 or 40 years of paying attention. Do you have a question, or are you just bringing over? And by the way, I'll be drinking a 2016. Yeah, we had to do this. We have to make this into a happy hour since no one's happy about anything on planet Earth. So we decided to go to France. I can't get that thing to focus really at all.
Yeah, it's very difficult.
It's bad. Oh, yeah, that's terrible. The more I move it, it gets less
trying
focus.
to focus on your face.
Oh, I see. Oh, what if I put it right in front of my face? Nope, that made it worse. Anyway, this is a lovely little 2016. Some might say it's a little early, but I think it's probably right in its zone. A nice 2016 Burgundy from Pommard. For those of you that took my wine class, it's a Grand Vin de Bourgogne. That's Burgundy. Pommard is the AOC. That's a sub-region of Burgundy. That means it's 100% a Pinot Noir that we'll be enjoying. And look at that, it matches my jacket. What? This is my election outfit. Ba-boom, boom, ba-boom. Available at Blacksburg Wine Lab. I'm not that crass of a commercialist. Anyway.
I was going to say some comments.
Yeah, if we have comments already, I won't even get to slide one. Let's do it.
People just chiming in.
Oh, yeah, let's hear some comments.
Lance Hartberger says, still my favorite.
Lance Hartberger, I know that dude. I think he lent me a helmet one time. Did you lend me a helmet one time?
Still my favorite professor from college. Amanda Wade says, hi.
Amanda Wade, I know that name.
Nathan Brandt says, class.
Nathan Brandt.
Class of 2014.
Brandt 2014.
And then Allie Haskell.
Allie Haskell, I remember that name.
Is so jealous I want Pinot.
Oh, this is quite good too, by the way. Have you had a sip yet?
Yeah.
We got this on by the glass. This is a good glass. I got a case and a half. I still think I got 2 cases of this. That's a great little Pinot.
Al Mazuka on YouTube says,
Al Mazuka on YouTube says,
class of 2016.
Class of 2016. Okay, well, if you have any questions, what would you all like to know, by the way? The handful of diehards that are here hanging out with us on pre-election night on a crisp autumn, I guess it's still autumn, right? It's November 2nd, crisp autumn night here in Blacksburg. The moon is gorgeous out in its waning phase.
Dennis is saying he's sipping on some college captain.
Some college captain. What's that? The captain? The college captain. I need a t-shirt of that. Oh, my God. So what would you all like to know about the U.S. election impacts on the globe? The U.S. presidential impact on the planet is the name of this ad hoc podcast I literally put together in the last half hour. So a few things that I know are going to be affected before we get to actual other places is that without any reservations, I think all of us understand this. Again, I don't care if you support Trump and love him like a demigod or think Biden's going to save the world. It doesn't matter to me. I love you all equally. We're all in it together. We're all in it together for the species as far as I'm concerned. So I just happen to live in America and there's an election here. Meh. If I was in France, I wouldn't be that concerned about that election there. If I was in Italy, boy, I'd be drinking a hell of a lot of wine and not worrying about that election because that's chaos. If I lived in China, I would never worry about elections because they don't have them. So anyway, even if you've been hiding under a rock, no matter who you like in the election tomorrow, we all have to agree that the person in charge starting tomorrow, or I guess January 2, whenever the swearing in is, will have a radical impact on the world environment. However, I'm suggesting not as much as you think. So this is an easy one to call. Everybody knows Donald Trump's in love. The Trump administration, I should always forget to use the right title. President Trump and his administration love fossil fuels, love them. They see them, it's cheap fuel. They don't believe in global warming or believe in it very little, whichever. And so they are pro-industry, they are pro-fossil fuels because it's already in place, because it's cheap, because it's effective, because it supposedly creates jobs in coal country, although I wonder if anybody's even done a study if that actually has changed anything since he's been in office in 4 years. And the Trump administration pulled out of all climate accords, just not interested. Economy, and that has resonated with voters, which put him in office 4 years ago. So 4 more years of a Trump administration will see significant degradation of environmental laws and green spaces. He's just opened up drilling rights and stuff in Alaska in a huge wildlife or forestry reserve. I can't remember which one it was. So you're likely to see 4 more years of the same sorts of policies that make conservationists cringe, that make environmentalists cringe, makes the EPA cringe, makes climate activists worldwide cringe. And everybody's saying if this guy, if President Trump gets 4 more years, it's woe is us. It's the end of the green energy movement, and it's the end of everything. From these headlines here, the world is watching. 2020 election will have big impact on global climate politics. And here's my take on that. I don't buy it. Here's why, and this feeds into what I was just spouting about looking at the bigger picture of the U.S.'s role in the world. The U.S.'s role on planet Earth is in decline. The U.S., for 50 years strong, some could argue 100, has been as a global leader economically, a global leader technologically, a global leader on a lot of liberal issues. And by liberal, I don't mean Democrat versus Republican. I mean truly liberal versus kind of more conservative on planet Earth. Those are 2 different things. And I'm going to keep restating the point. The U.S.'s leadership role on many fronts was already being chipped away at. The idea that the whole world will just all go back to burning more coal if Donald Trump gets elected tomorrow or reelected is fanciful. There are many other countries on planet Earth that have their own environmental policy. There are many other NGOs and groups around the world fighting for a cleaner environment. I always push the pollution thing. It should be more about getting off of fossil fuels. Personally, I don't pick winners and losers in politics, especially domestic, because I'm not interested. But personally, I'm an anti-pollution guy. I'm like, yeah, I actually kind of like clean air and water and think we need to get off of fossil fuels simply for the pollution aspect and the dirtiness and the cancer causing and the ill effects of human health in general on planet Earth is why I'm more of a green energy guy, period. It's got nothing to do with creating jobs or losing jobs. That's not my forte. I don't care. I've said for a long time, wow, the whole environmental movement got completely off track back in the 70s when they chose as their leading story and their show pony global warming. It was a total mistake on environmentalist cause because global warming cannot and will never be definitively proven to be humankind's fault. Does humankind play a role in it? I believe so. Most scientists believe so. But you're not going to convince the naysayers because you can't. It's an unprovable thing. Kind of like God. You either believe in it or you don't. Nobody can prove it to you. You have to come to that conclusion yourself. So you can't prove this global warming part. But it's kind of easy to prove that pollution sucks. It's kind of easy to relate bad air quality with impacts to human health. It's really easy, actually, and it's stuff that people can understand. So sorry to go off on a rant already, because we'll switch over to Twitch now before we even get into the next slides. My point is, there's lots of other people on the planet, like 7.5 billion people on the planet, and 195 other governments and untold NGOs and climate activists and organizers. The idea that Donald Trump will lead to the decline of everything on planet Earth when it comes to environmental stuff is, quite frankly, offensive. It's offensive to me, not because I'm defending Donald Trump or his followers. It's offensive to me because what you're saying is, well, everybody's powerless except the United States. No one can do anything in the world unless the United States does it, and that's offensive. The world will continue to do what the countries of the world will continue to go the direction they feel behooves them, and many of them are, regardless of who wins the election tomorrow in the United States. Having said that, yes, energy consumption in the United States and environmentalism in the United States will be significantly impacted by who wins an election tomorrow. But don't put that off on the world, that the world will start using coal more because, I don't know, 150 million Americans, it won't even be that. What's the predicted voter turnout? It's 340 million Americans. How many are probably in the voting population of that? Maybe 200 million tops. How many we expect to come out? Maybe 100 million people will decide who runs the United States tomorrow. I'm rounding figures off. Somebody can Google this for me. With 100 million possible voters, and let's say majority rules, 50 million Americans may vote for the Trump administration, and therefore would say we should all start burning more coal. Why on literally God's green earth would 50 million Americans dictate the environmental policy of 7.5 billion people? It's preposterous. 50 million people in the United States will definitely affect what happens in the United States. So there will be winners and losers in energy in the United States. Here's a funny thing, though. And we are out of time here already, aren't we? Okay.
I'm sure if it's worth it. We got 56 people watching.
Okay. Well, what do you want to do?
Keep going. What do you want to try to do?
Skip the
Why
Twitch?
don't you ask people? You have a lot of questions, too. So.
Okay. So before I even finish this slide, we were getting ready to switch to our platform on Twitch. We would love for you all to join us on Twitch. Katie's probably already putting the Twitch address in all the chat rooms. How many of you all will join us on Twitch so I can answer all your questions we already have queued up? We would love for you all to say, it doesn't cost anything. It doesn't cost anything just to click on it and watch it, right, Katie? Do you have to sign up?
No, there will be a quick ad right before the
Will all of you join us on Twitch in the next 5 minutes so we can continue this conversation? Is that possible? You tell me what the answers are. I can't see it.
Yeah.
Again, this is why we like Twitch, because I can see the windows in Twitch, and they can be popping up here, and it shows it directly to me what's going on. So I'll just spout this while you all answer Katie if you'll join us on Twitch. All we need is 10 of you to say yes, you'll join us on Twitch. How many you got, Katie? How many you got?
Yes, they said sure. Well, YouTube's all saying yes, we'll move.
Okay. That would be great. We would love that. And I will pick up here. I'll reintroduce what I'm doing, but since you guys are already here, I'll jump quickly through that.
And I'll get all the questions queued up, so give us like 2 minutes.
We'll get all the questions queued up. I will reintroduce the topic, and then I'll jump straight to this, because mostly I was just hanging out with you guys anyway for the first 20 minutes. It won't take long to get us caught back up. See if we got any Twitch users.
And one quick question.
One quick question.
Real quick, and which wine do you drink before going to the polls tomorrow? What should you drink?
Which wine should you drink before going to the polls tomorrow? I don't know why you wouldn't have continue a proud American tradition of a brown bag with MD 2020 in it. I hear it kills COVIDs too. So it's all about the medicinal aspects for me. Well, thank you all for jumping in here and already making this fun as hell. Let's take a 3-minute break and we'll jump into Twitch, then ad plays, and then we'll jump back into this. I really appreciate if you guys will all join us over there, because it's just more freewheeling and funner to see the comments, and I can't do that on these multiple platforms. For now, party on, and I'll see you in a second. So what do? Click end stream now?
Yes.